All right, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kohalo Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. All right, in this video, just want to give an example of a few precepts, okay, in the scriptures that prove, Esau, Edom is the wicked, all right, by his own documents that he puts out, his own information. Okay, so now this is from the sources from the Intercept, and it's through blacklistednews.com. Okay, and the title of this is "Violence Has Spiked in Africa Since the Military Founded AFRICOM Pentagon Study Finds." So this is information that was conducted through a Pentagon study. Okay, and this article, like I said, is from the Intercept, and it's dated July the 29th, which is yesterday. Okay, now Nick Tercy, okay, this guy right here, okay, I guess he wrote this article. Now it says since U.S. command began operations in 2008, the number of U.S. military personnel on the African continent has jumped. It says the number of U.S. military personnel on the African continent has jumped 170%. Okay, so 170% since 2008. Okay, from 2,600 to 7,000 military personnel. Okay, on the continent of Africa. Okay, and you Negroes, they tell you to go back to Africa. All right, you so-called Negroes that live in America, they tell you to go back to Africa, and you have the Kemet and all of this. Well, if that was such a great civilization, why is Esau's military personnel and his presence over there, okay, skyrocketing? All right. It says the number of U.S. military missions, activities, programs, and exercises there has also risen 1900%. Okay. So they're not only are they increasing their numbers over there, their military personnel, but also, okay, their missions, okay, are increasing. Their drone strikes, it says drone strikes have soared, and the number of commandos deployed has increased exponentially, okay, along with the size and scope of AFRICOM's constellations of military bases. The constellation of bases, Shalakia. It says the U.S. military has recently conducted 36 named operations and activities in Africa, more than any other region of the world, including the greater Middle East. Troops scattered across Africa regularly advise, train, and partner with local forces, gather intelligence, conduct surveillance, and carry out airstrikes and ground raids focused on countering violent extremists on the African continent. Okay, so you have, basically it's a war zone over there, and Esau, okay, is making money over there, basically with the resources that are over there and the arms trade, okay, that he's equipping these other countries over there in Africa, okay, to fight extremists. All right, and regardless of what the extremists are fighting for, which these are different groups, okay, that take up military arms against their government, because what their government is in bed with Esau, Edom, okay, or in bed with the Moabites, which is the Chinese. Okay, so everybody has their own way of dealing with outside influences. Okay, some men take up arms, some people succumb, some people submit, but the people that take up arms, they call them extremists. Okay, and as you can see, ever since Esau, all right, has basically set up that AFRICOM, all right, in 2008, Barack Obama, that's why he was in office. Okay, basically to set up that AFRICOM and get it to where it is now. All right, there has been a lot of violence, and violence is growing. Okay, this is the third paragraph. It says there are now roughly 24 active militant Islamic groups operating on the continent, up from just 5 in 2010. The analysis found today 13 African countries face attacks from these groups, a 160% increase over that same time span. In fact, the number of violent events across the continent has jumped 960%, from 288 in 2009 to 3,050 in 2018, according to the African Center analysis. Yeah, because Esau Edom keeps statistics on everything, okay? And these direct statistics are due in part because why? He's over there, okay? Over there destabilizing things, okay? Destabilizing countries and using countries as client states, okay? Extracting natural resources and trying to gain the power, okay, over their natural resources for United States corporations, all right? And building increasing the arms trade, okay? Because arms is a heavy trade, okay? That's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It says, this is the about fifth paragraph. It says the sharp increase in terrorist incidents in Africa underscores the fact that the Pentagon overly militarized approach to the problem has been a dismal failure. So it says the Pentagon has overly militarized the approach, which has become a dismal failure. So the policies, and you got to keep in mind that the policies that Esau Edom is doing throughout the four corners of the earth, mainly here in Africa, which are dismal failures, this is taxpayer dollars being spent. So think about that every time you get your check and you look at all of those deductions from the federal government, okay? That goes into these ventures outside of the borders of America, okay? And then you wonder why, roads and all types of infrastructure is failing, okay? William Hartog, the director of the Arms and Security Project at the Center for International Policy, if anything, attempting to eradicate terrorism by force may be exacerbating the problem, provoking a terrorist backlash and serving as a recruitment tool for extremist groups. Yeah, because they don't like Esau Edom, so they'll take up guns, okay, and try to go to war with his interests, okay, or people that are taking money from Esau Edom, okay. It says, take Somalia, for example. Over the last decade, AFRICOM has conducted hundreds of airstrikes and commando missions there and claimed an enemy body count of approximately 800 terrorists, primarily members of the Shabab, Al-Shabaab, which it says the Shabab, we know them as Al-Shabaab over here in the States. It says a military group. The number of U.S. air attacks has skyrocketed of late, jumping from 14 under President Obama in 2016 to 47 under the Trump administration last year. Yet the Pentagon's own analysis found that violent episodes involving the Shabab represent roughly 50% of all militant Islamic group activity in Africa, and that the rate has remained constant over the past decade. Let's read a little bit more into this article, and then I'm gonna bring out these precepts because we're just gonna bring it out. Esau Edom, take peace from the earth, and let's just read real quick. It says, in October 2017, members of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara, or ISGS, ambushed American troops near the border of Sahelian states of Mali and Niger, killing 4 U.S. soldiers and wounding 2 others. Just after the attack, AFRICOM claimed the troops were providing advice and assistance to local partners, but it was later revealed that the American commandos operating alongside a Nigerian force had until poor weather intervened, hoped to link up with another contingent of U.S. special operators trying to kill or capture Islamic State leader Dundon Chafour. Sound like a French name. Despite these and several other long-running U.S. military efforts in the region, militant groups in the Sahel have grown more active and their attacks more frequent, according to the African Center. In fact, violent episodes linked to groups associated with Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, or AQIM, and ISGS increased from 192 in 2017 to 464 last year. At the same time, fatalities linked to these groups more than doubled from 529 to 1112. All right, so basically, the moral or the story behind this article is, since Esau came over there with the AFRICOM, okay, which he's in control of, there's been a spike in the number of deaths and attacks, okay, in war, man, okay. Now let's go to this is the Malachi 1 and 4. It says, "Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down." In this case, they built up AFRICOM. The Lord is going to throw down, okay? "And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever." Now, indignation means righteous anger, okay? But they are the border of wickedness. Everywhere they go, they bring forth death, okay? Let's go to real quick to we bring this out all the time, but it has to be brought out because it's all part of prophecy and it all points who the wicked is on the face of the earth. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk 2, around the 14th chapter. 14th verse. Yeah, around the 6th verse, Habakkuk 2 and 6, it says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." See, all of these ventures, which are counterproductive, as this article has mentioned, this is how he have laden himself with thick clay. All of these investments that come into keeping United States hegemony, keeping that petrodollar flowing. Basically, Esau Edom has to have his military, and that's the only thing that Esau Edom has at this point is his military, because these countries are not following after his wishes for his economy, okay? And the American people, okay, from day to day, they're struggling, okay? So they're not going to be the most heavy consumers, because all the prices on your basic day-to-day living, okay, is going into living. Basically all their money from the jobs that they do have is going towards living, paying for rent, utility bills, and certain things. So they don't have the abundance of money to buy stuff that they don't need. And all of these other emerging economies, okay, their people are able to buy certain things. So the American economy is kind of going to be left behind. Habakkuk 2 and 6, it says 7, it says, shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake, that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Okay, so all of this violence, basically these nations are going to come up against Esau Edom. Okay, when this third world war break out, all the Somalis, all the people from Nigeria, okay, all the people from the different parts of Africa that the United States had a hand in, destroying innocent people, they're going to take up arms and they're going to fight. Okay, and they're going to come to the aid of Russia, okay, pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th chapter. This is the book of Daniel 8 and 25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many, and he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Now this is going into Esau Edom. Now let's look up two words in the Hebrew, okay, in the Hebrew. All right, because there's some people that don't believe the form of Hebrew that we're speaking is correct. But let's go into some of these words, which is important. Now the first word, we'll go into the word policy, where it says, and through his policy. Now that word is shakal. Okay, so that means prudence, insight, understanding. Okay, prudence, good sense, insight, understanding, cunning, and crafty in a bad sense. That's what it's used. It says intelligence, okay, through his policy. Now, one of his policies that he created was the AFRICOM, and what it was intended to do, okay, to you should go into the mission statement of AFRICOM, okay, because they should probably have a mission statement. Let me see. Look up. Now this is United States African Command. It says what we do: U.S. African Command, with partners, strengthen security forces, counter transnational threats, and conduct crisis response in order to advance U.S. national interests and promote regional security, stability, and prosperity. All right. That's the mission statement. AFRICOM mission statement. U.S. African Command, yeah. Strengthen security. It says U.S. African Command, with partners, strengthen security forces, counter transnational threats, and conducts crisis response in order to advance U.S. national interests and promote regional security, stability, and prosperity. But actually, according to the numbers, okay, they're bringing more death and destruction and more war. Okay, so that was their mission statement. But it's actually deceitful. So we'll go into this next precept right here. This is Proverbs 11:18. It says, "The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward." But the key, it says, "A wicked worketh a deceitful work." And basically, this is nothing. AFRICOM is nothing but a deceitful work. There's hidden agendas behind it. Okay. Now let's go back to Daniel's 8. It says, "And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper." All right, now let's look up the word craft. Marama. So that's the word for craft. It means deceit, treachery. Okay. Deceiving, fraud. Okay. All right. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Okay. And basically he comes with that mission statement to promote peace, prosperity. Okay, going back to the mission statement of AFRICOM, but in the sense he's going to destroy these countries, okay, that are working with him, his partners. All right. His regional security, his stability, his prosperity, all of that stuff that he promised is actually going to destroy these countries, okay, and bring more suffering to these countries. So with that, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakak Wadash, double honesty, apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to you brothers that's pushing this word in sincerity and truth. Okay, just another video. Shalom.